Okay. Das heißt, ich bin das letztes Mal noch einmal ganz durchgegangen. Oh, Moment mal. Ich weiß gar nicht, ob wir alles schon gepresst haben. Vielleicht sollte ich mir immer mal die letzten halbe Stunde nochmal vor dem Stream angucken. The victim kind of ordered the defendant to do it, man. And that's what happened. The victim sent a letter ordering his own murder. Ich press hier nochmal. Nur zur Sicherheit nochmal alles kurz ins Gedächtnis rufen. Just because you get the letter doesn't mean he went through with it. Oh, I disagree. The victim was indeed shot in the forehead after all, just as he had commanded. It could be a setup, but let's not be in such a hurry. Ich lese gerade mal ein bisschen schneller. Weil ich gerade nicht sicher war, ob wir das schön hatten. Let's not be in such a hurry. Maybe we should let the witness talk for a change. Thanks, pal. Fine, I can play it slow as well as I can play it fast. On with the testimony, Gumshoe. A few days before it happened, the victim sent a letter ordering his own murder. And this letter was sent by the victim. There it is. Gotcha. You all might... daran erinnere ich mich noch. The handwriting change of... There's no mistake. Ah, I see. Ha 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 ha. Score one for the boys. I didn't lose. I was just asserting the facts. So why am I so annoyed? A letter ordering your own death. Things aren't what they used to be, guys. I'm not... Oops. Should this actually come place in now, your honor? So anyway, I guess I'll keep going while I'm ahead. Okay, jetzt kommt auch noch alles bekannt vor. The defendant did what was asked of him and shot the old man in the forehead. Und da haben wir, glaube ich, objected. The bullet was fired from the pistol found at the scene, no doubt about it. Hab ich das schon gepresst? Oh, das kann ich nicht vorspulen, da muss es neu sein. You mean this pistol, the one in the crime scene photo? That's the one. It's a funny-looking gun, so there's no mistaking it. We compared the bullet taken from the victim's skull with the bullet fired from this gun. The rifling marks on the bullets were a perfect match. So, you verified the murder weapon, in other words? You bet we did. The pistol definitely belonged to the old man. Why are you so certain? What part of sadness you had been stuck in all this time, pal? You never heard of Zack and Val's quick draw shoot 'em? Huh? What is that? One of the defendant's specialties. Zack and Valance stand on either side of the girl. Then they shoot. But the bullets don't hit her. Instead they hit everything else on stage. Everything, even the audience. Everybody dead. Well, maybe not the audience. This was one of the pistols they used in their show. Got a great design, huh? The kids love it. Many boys and girls join the police because of that pistol, I hear. You know, that would explain a lot about the police force. Trip Gramarye stopped doing that act a while ago. The old man held on to that pistol ever since. Oh. The court would like to see the pistol in question. You got it, sir. Here she is. Well, this truly is a blast from the past. It's a stage pistol for magic shows, see? But it can fire real bullets. It looks so much bigger in real life than on TV. Yeah, but it can only hold one round. By the way, the pistol's firing chamber is empty. Moment, nur one round? Aber wurde nicht gerade behauptet, er könnte ja dahin und dann dahin geschossen haben? Das kann dann ja gar nicht sein. And it shows traces of having been fired recently. So were any fingerprints found on the gun? Unfortunately, no. Of course, the defendant is known for wearing gloves. We might say that a lack of fingerprints is, in fact, a fingerprint of its own. Aha, intriguing point, well made. Whoa, not well made, not intriguing. In any case, the court accepts this evidence. Stage pistol added to the court record. Oh, Ibims in Milford. Hallo. Grüße ich dich direkt mal so. My grandchild would get a kick out of seeing this. But now it's time to return to our testimony. So what if he shot the clown? He still shot the victim, pal. Fires one real bullet. Wetten? Objection! Haha. The trickiest cases often seem the simplest. Prosecutor Gavin, you missed the bullet hole in the clown's forehead. If you hadn't missed that, you might have come to a very different conclusion. Understand? Yeah, but like I just said, pal, after he shot the clown in the forehead, he went and... Objection! Did nothing of the sort to the victim. The pistol proves he could not.
The murder weapon? How?
It's quite simple, Your Honor. This pistol only holds one bullet at a time. If he had shot the clown in the forehead, he couldn't have shot the victim too.
Objection!
That's not a contradiction, not even close. All he had to do was reload the pistol after the first shot.
Objection!
Oh, where did you get the extra bullet? They're not so easy to come by, you know. If you claim the defendant had one ready, then prove to us how he got it. Merkt schon so ein bisschen den Unterschied in der Kompetenz zwischen Phoenix und Apollo. I had a feeling this wasn't over yet. No, this party's just getting started. And I haven't proven anything yet beyond my good looks and startling record sales. Ja, es ist aber ein bisschen unnötig, das jetzt zu sagen. And utter lack of humility. Genau, Phoenix.
What's this? It seems that the prosecution has another witness prepared.
Like I said, her detective was just the warm-up act. Now that the audience has gotten a taste of what's to come, they're ready. Ready for what? For my decisive witness, of course. A witness who you will find can prove one thing for us. That it was Zach Gramarye who shot the victim in the forehead. Da bin ich ja mal gespannt.
Very well. We will pause for a 15-minute recess, because I'm really hungry.
This might be my lucky break. I'll need that 15 minutes to talk to my client, Zach.
Court is adjourned.
Ist das hell? Ja, ich glaube, Christian kommt heute nicht. Zumindest nicht im Stream. Er hat nämlich Besuch von seiner Freundin. April 19, 11:21, District Court, Defendant, Lobby Number 2.
Very impressive, Mr. Wright.
Ich weiß gar nicht mehr, wie ich den gesprochen habe.
I have to say I expected nothing less.
We've only just begun. I was hoping you could tell me a bit more about what happened, actually.
I did not think you would believe me if I told you. Better that you discover the truth for yourself. I was thinking of you, you know.
I think we need less thinking and more talking. That night in the hospital, what really happened?
The way your eyes gleam, Mr. Wright. You'll scare Trucy.
Speaking of which, where is she?
You have seen the problem yourself, the ladder.
The one shot in the forehead, one. Achso, the one shot in the forehead ladder. Also das One bezieht sich jetzt auf den Ladder. Das war erst ein bisschen verwirrend. One shot in the forehead, one.
You have seen the problem yourself, the ladder.
The one shot in the forehead ladder, right?
Yes, and the reason he speaks of. I could not deny my mentor's wishes, even if it meant my own death.
Why not?
This is something I will not say, for now at least.
Ja, aber ich bin dein Anwalt. Das würde dir eventuell helfen, mit mir offen zu sein. What is this for now business?
I have done many things in my life, some well, some poorly. But this is a cross we must bear alone to our graves.
We?
You wanted to know about the night of the incident?
Finally, this guy sure likes to take his time getting to the important stuff. Das hast du dir wohl von dem abgeguckt in deiner späteren Hobo-Phoenix-Version.
Of course, I had no intention of shooting my mentor. I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time. And found there upon his bedside table 2 pistols.
2? Oh, okay. Das ist neu. Wir haben ja bisher nur von einer erfahren. Und da ist auch noch nicht die Insulinspritze da. Warte, lass uns das Foto mal miteinander vergleichen. Also hier ist ein Loch im Clown. Hier natürlich nicht, weil er ja gleich da reinschießt, zumindest wenn das stimmt, was er uns erzählt. Hier ist das Tagebuch und da ist eine Seite rausgerissen. Hier ist noch keine Seite rausgerissen. Okay. Die Nadel ist auch noch im Arm. Oh, sorry. Hier ist die Nadel nicht mehr im Arm. Und hier liegen halt die 2 Pistolen. Und dafür keine Spritze. Hier liegt nur noch eine Pistole und dafür diese Insulinspritze mit diesem Mäppchen. Und das sind ja doch einige Unterschiede mehr, als ich erst dachte. Vor allem, dass die Seite noch da ist ja mal interessant.
Yes, the one I had used on stage was the one pistol, and the other pistol was the one that had been used by my partner, Valent.
Oh, for the Zack and Valent's quick draw thing. Ja, aber wenn er es nicht war, war das dann Valant? Und Valant ist in Wahrheit gar nicht so nett, wie wir immer denken.
My mentor had the look of one sleeping. I stood by his bedside, hearing only the light sound of his breathing.
Also hat er auch geschlafen und sah nicht nur so aus.
Then I took the pistol into my hand. I cannot deny that my resolve faltered then for a moment.
You faltered? You mean you thought about shooting him?
Recall there was a reason I could not refuse his request. His last such request, though not his first.
So there were other requests you couldn't refuse before?
To be honest, I've not always been steadfast, and I fear I've brought pain upon Drusy.
Was McNiffy coercing his disciples somehow? Just what was going on in Troop Gramarye?
Yet, in the end, I did not shoot him. Instead, I turned and shot the clown. I took the pistol I had fired and placed it in my pocket.
In your pocket?
I believe if you examine the bullet in the clown's head, you will find it to be different than the one in my mentor. What were those called?
Rifling marks.
Yes. Well, that is all I have to tell you concerning the case.
Concerning the case? You mean there's something else you can tell me?
You were a fascinating man, Mr. Wright.
Thanks?
Yes, there is something. My mentor, his eyes opened.
What? McNiffy Gramarye?
The old devil, he was not asleep, you see. Of course, the gunshot would have woken him anyway.
Och, jag kokte på böse.
And there we had our last discussion as mentor and pupil. It was not a long discussion, maybe 5-10 minutes or so.
What did you talk about?
Mr. Wright, did I not just tell you? It does not concern this case.
Das glaube ich irgendwie nicht. Zach Gramarye, he seems pretty steadfast to me, or maybe just stubborn.
Mr. Wright, your presence is requested in the courtroom. The judge has finished his sandwich. Once again, I am in your hands.
Right, let's get back in there.
Court is now back in session.
During our recess, a bullet was found in and dug out from the clown's head. Also, a bullet was found in and dug out from the clown's head.
Well, this is news. And the rifling marks?
There wasn't time to do a detailed analysis, though they did find the weapon type matches the murder weapon.
Well, that's not very conclusive, is it?
Ja, dann mach doch halt vernünftige Analyse. Which is why I'm about to call my very decisive witness. Your decisive witness? How many times have I heard those words? Well, they often turn out to be far less decisive than you think. Oh, don't worry on my account. I'm quite confident this witness will do the job. After all, he is intimately acquainted with the players in our little production. Being the other... Oh, this is Valant. Being the other half of Troop Gramarye's famous duo, Zack and Valant. Valant Gramarye. So we get to meet the great McNiffy's other disciple. Oh, da hat er noch gar keinen Schnäuzer. Perhaps we'll start by asking your name and occupation.
Valant Gramarye. Magician, genau, magician. And you're the decisive witness, are you? You can prove your fellow student your partner's killed. Fate, the grand illusion, filled with traps and tricks.
Wait, the shooting took place in that hospital after 11 o'clock at night. If you're a witness, does that mean you were there that late?
If one were to deduce this logically, then the conclusion is yes.
Okay. I always get the characters, don't I? I have an interesting fact for you. You see, several days before the crime, my witness received this.
That looks very familiar.
Wait, that's the same letter Zach Gramarye received. Oh, die haben beide denselben gekriegt.
Yes, or perhaps I should say ta-da. And what does it say? Surely not the same thing.
Perhaps you should see for yourself. Oh, ich glaube, die Uhrzeit ist anders, oder? To you, I entrust the task of lowering my life's curtain, the 13th, 11:05 p.m. To you, I entrust the task of lowering my life's curtain, the 13th, 11:20 p.m. 15 Minuten später. Noch irgendwas anders? I will ready a gun with which you will shoot one shot square in the forehead. I already got with you shoot one shot. You cannot refuse, and we both know the reason why. Das ist dasselbe.
Well, it's practically the same. The court accepts this into evidence.
Das ist nur die Uhrzeit anders.
This is most unusual. Exactly what was going on with you folks? What exactly was your true Grammary up to? By which you mean? I'm just having trouble envisioning a man who would ask his students to kill him. Both of them, no less.
It's just my opinion, Herr Judge, but from these letters, I'd say he was cursing them, not asking them.
We walked the magician's path together and in so doing shared much of our lives. When people are so close, there is strain, a warping of relations, you might say. Yet this has nothing to do with the case at hand.
By which you mean you're not going to tell us? Which makes me wonder even more about this reason they couldn't refuse.
Well, let's get on with the testimony for starters.
Kann man die nicht eigentlich vor Gericht dazu zwingen, das zu sagen? Oder, ich meine, gut, die können dann wahrscheinlich einfach den Mund nicht aufmachen. Ja, hier ist sowieso alles etwas anders, stimmt.
The defendant Zach Grammary stands accused. Tell us why. Oh, I'll do more than that. For where he walks, the red roses rise, singing hymns to the miracle that is magic.
Fascinating, though I hardly need to remind you that the evidence could just as clearly point to you as the suspect. The letter, the murder weapon, and now the 2 bullets found at the scene.
In fact, the only difference seems to be the designated time.
Oh, wow, der Richter kriegt auch mal was mit.
Ha 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 ha. As every magician knows, timing is everything.
Yes, and now it's time to get this party fired up.
That night, I visited the hospital room at the time McNiffy requested. The smell of gunpowder hung in the room, and my mentor had taken his final bow. I did not imagine my fellow student might have received the same instructions, yet a deal with a dead is still a deal. Death's sweet kiss I gave to the clown. Then I informed the doctor and the police.
Genau, behauptet, hätte den Clown geschossen.
So you were the one who reported the crime. Indeed, I would think this fact alone would clear my name of suspicion.
Let's not jump to any conclusions.
Yes, the cross-examination generally comes before the conclusions in this court. But if your testimony proves to be true, then the defendant, Zach Grammary, is guilty.
And if it wasn't Zach Grammary, then the killer was you, Valand. And no disappearing act will get you out of that. Okay, ich glaube, ich habe jetzt noch nichts, was ich da irgendwie objecten könnte. Ich presse erstmal. That night I visited the hospital room at the time when you requested. Which, according to the letter, was 11:20 p.m.
Indeed. In magic, timing is everything.
Right.
Consider it the illusion of teleportation. If I were to appear on stage before my stunt double has left, how would that look? Why, it would reveal the very secrets of my magic.
Now that you've revealed the very secrets of your magic for all of us, let's move on. You went at the designated time, and what did you see? The smell of gunpowder hung in the room, and mentor taking some bow. So you weren't worried for your own safety at all? I mean, you smelled gunpowder, yes? What if the shooter was still nearby?
I didn't consider this, to be honest. It is forbidden for a magician to have a good imagination.
Really? Isn't magic all about illusions and imagination? How about this? You were the shooter, which is why you weren't afraid.
Now you are the one imagining. It is forbidden for a lawyer to have a good imagination. The witness will refrain from pausing so suspiciously
Before responding.
My forbidden imagination is starting to imagine things.
I did not imagine fellow student might have received the same instructions. Which brings us back to this reason neither of you could refuse.
So it does, and my partner, he did not refuse.
But McNiffy wrote the same thing to you. Why could you refuse if Zach couldn't?
Because I have a will of steel, of course. I also do this trick where I bend steel bars, so that perhaps steel isn't also strong.
So, which is it?
Mind if I continue?
Deal with the dead is still a deal. This we kiss I gave to the clown. There were 2 bullet holes at the scene, one in the victim and one in the clown. You're saying the one who shot the clown was you?
No doubt my partner Zach has said much the same thing.
Yeah, because whoever didn't shoot the clown committed murder. I'd better dig around here a bit more and see what I turn up. Mr. Valent, let me ask about something else concerning the crime scene, namely... the number of pistols? Hätte ich jetzt gesagt. Weil auf dem Foto wurde ja nur eine gefunden, aber wir haben gerade erfahren, dass es 2 gegeben hat. How many pistols were there when you entered the room?
By which you mean what, precisely?
Ja, was denn wohl? Das ist nicht so eine schwere Frage, oder? 2 pistols were used in the Zack and Valent quick draw shooting, correct? One for each of you.
You are well informed, yet only one of my old friends sat in the hospital room that night.
What did Zack tell me back in the lobby?
Of course, I had no intention of shooting my mentor. I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time, and found there upon his bedside table 2 pistols. I took the pistol I had fired and placed it in my pocket. I see no problem with that statement. Only 1 pistol is visible in the photograph of the crime scene after all.
So you picked up that pistol and fired it?
Indeed I did. Alakazam, alakazing, alakaboom. Is the number of pistols really so important?
Ja, ich meine, weil die ja nur eine Kugel abfeuern. Müssen es ja 2 gewesen sein. Ich sag jetzt mal ja. The number of pistols is quite important, Your Honor.
Very well. Please add this detail to your testimony. What can I do but obey? Only 1 pistol was in the hospital room that night. With it, I shot the clown.
So you took the only pistol there and fired it.
That is correct.
And that pistol was this one, which was left at the crime scene.
Good show. I see you two are a magician of sorts.
And you're an idiot of sorts. Do you have any idea what you just said? I see the fire in your eyes as you glare at the witness. So how about heating up this trial a bit? These slow ballads bore me. I've got a hunch, but maybe that's all it is. Maybe I should ask about something else. Where exactly was the pistol when you entered the room?
Atop a small bedside table it was, as if to say, here I am, take me into your hand, pull my trigger, shoot him.
The victim clearly wanted to be shot.
But why?
Perhaps he wanted to go out with a bang. Yet we will never hear the truth from his lips, so all we can do is guess.
Is the location of the pistol all that important?
Wahrscheinlich wird dann immer nur die eine Sache hinzugefügt, oder? Probieren wir mal. Without a murder weapon, there would be no murder. It's very important, Your Honor.
Very well, please add this detail to your testimony. What can I do but obey?
Was sagt er hier eigentlich? Das will ich auch mal eben wissen. So you informed the police. What did you do then?
What do you suppose I did? Use my magic to levitate my mentor's corpse, perhaps?
I don't know, that's why I'm asking. Now please answer the question and skip the sarcasm.
After I made my report, I called the doctor and we returned to the room. While we waited for the police to arrive, we discussed stomach medicine.
We've confirmed this with the doctor. It all checks out. He praised Mr. Vallon's knowledge of stomach medicine, in fact.
It is an honor I do not deserve, but I accept.
Both of McNiffy's students received the same letter. Both admit to having gone to the hospital that night. 2 bullets were fired, and one of them killed McNiffy. Time to find the cracks in his testimony. Why did you do that? I would think calling the police would come first.
Then you know nothing of the relationship between a master and his disciple. If your master says die, you die. Do you understand?
So you're going to die?
Certainly not. It was but an example. In any case, I wanted to fulfill my obligation. A final courtesy to a great mentor, perhaps. Or perhaps not.
Perhaps I'm totally confused. Maybe I should ask about something else. The bullet? In order to shoot a pistol, you need a bullet. Where was the bullet? Die Katze.
I entered the room and took the pistol in my hand. The bullet was already loaded, ready to fire at any time. A magician is always prepared, you see.
Prepared for?
One never knows when a miracle will be called for. A magician always has 7 doves in his pocket and a white rabbit up each sleeve.
Clearly, we're dealing with professionals here.
Is this bullet that was loaded in the pistol really so important?
Without a loaded bullet, we wouldn't have a murder. Very important, Your Honor.
Very well. Please add this detail to your testimony.
Noch habe ich keine richtige Idee hier. If the pistol was already loaded, something doesn't make sense. Why weren't the victim's fingerprints on it?
You should know that we of the true Gramarye are capable of many things. One of these being the levitation of iron balls without touching them.
There's no magic involved here. The shooter was just methodical is all. He simply wiped everything off fingerprints. Can't really do much with fingerprints that weren't there. Maybe you should ask about something else. This testimony for a while longer. Da fällt mir jetzt nichts ein. Ich probiere nochmal die Anzahl der Pistolen. Weil das ist ja zumindest, was eigentlich nicht stimmen dürfte. Wenn er sagt, da wäre nur eine gewesen, muss das doch irgendwo eine Möglichkeit geben, da zu objecten. Ich weiß nicht, ob wir das Foto benutzen können. Auf dem Foto sind ja halt 2 Schüsse zu sehen. Auch wenn das nicht unbedingt so ein tolles Argument ist, weil man hätte einfach nachladen können, wenn er irgendwo noch eine Kugel hatte. Uh-oh. Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence.
It does? I don't see anything contradictory.
Huh? Really?
Objection overruled. Try to think before you make accusations. Right.
Whoops, that didn't go so well. Vielleicht die Pistole selbst.
Objection!
According to the defendant, Zach Gramery, when he entered the room, there were 2 pistols on that table.
2.
One of those pistols he used to shoot the clown in the forehead, then he left with it in his pocket. Of course, this is what he would say. Unlike the hapless clown, we must assume our defendant has some brains in his head. Well, what about what Mr. Vallon has told us? You see, there's something about his testimony that doesn't make sense.
What might that be? I told you I took the pistol that was there and shot the clown.
That's your story, that's your story at least. But the rifling marks tell a very different story, Mr. Valent. Recall what Prosecutor Gavin told us. We compared the bullet taken from the victim's skull with the bullet fired from this gun.
Oh, stimmt.
The rifling marks on the bullets were a perfect match. Und wenn er jetzt behauptet, da lag nur eine Pistole und die rifling marks waren ein perfect match mit der Pistole, die da lag. Oh. Mr. Valent, if you fired this pistol, then you shot the victim in the forehead.
Order, order, order! Well, this is all rather sudden.
What have I done?
Prosecutor Gavin?
I owe the court an apology. Sorry.
Sorry for what?
You see, I was unaware that 2 of these unique pistols were crafted. The analysis of the rifling marks only proved the type of gun that fired them.
Objection!
But that's not what you told us before. You said you'd verified the murder weapon. Which is why I'm apologizing to you now, quite sincerely, I might add. Would you hold me accountable for a mistake made in my youth? That was just this morning. I am still young. And I might add, it wasn't really my fault. If the defendant had only admitted he took 1 pistol from the scene of the crime, we would not be having this pleasant discussion now.
Vallon Gramery? Yes, Your Honor. You are presented to this court as a decisive witness, but you've proved to be more divisive than decisive.
Objection!
Huh? You'll see in time. The testimony so far has merely been a review of the facts. The proof comes next.
Can't elaborate, Prosecutor Gavin?
When Mr. Valent entered the hospital room, the victim had already been shot, as his next testimony will prove how right the real fight is about to begin. Bring it.
Very well. The witness will now testify to the court. Help us determine who shot what.